Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 14 of Knitknacker Natters. I'm Fatima, and this is a crafting podcast which is usually filmed in Singapore where I live. Today I'm coming to you from beautiful spring morning in London. I should mention today is Friday the 17th of March, and it's beautiful outside. I'm sure you can see the sun coming in through the window. As I mentioned, I'm in London at the moment. I'm visiting my family, and hence this is not my usual setup. Okay, so a huge warm welcome to everyone who is watching here today. Thank you for coming to spend a little bit of time with me to see what I'm getting up to. A huge welcome to all the new subscribers, and a big thank you to all the people who keep coming back. It means so much that you kind of drop by every so often, and I love hearing from you, and I love the messages that you send me, so thank you very much. So I know that a lot of you are here because we are in the midst of the Wonders of the Wild Cow, and if you don't know anything about it, where have you guys been? The Wonders of the Wild Cow is basically a 6-month cow which is being hosted by 6 different podcasters on different continents of the world. And we are aiming to take you on a fibre arts discovery, a journey from continent to continent in the hope that you and us and we will discover new crafters, new designers, new makers, new dyers, new yarns. The world is not the bubble we live in, and this is the purpose of this cow. And so far it's been a very exciting journey. We started out in January in Australasia, where Grace of the Babbles Travelling Yarns opened up the world of Australasia to us, and I've discovered so many new designers and dyers and yarns, so it's been fantastic, and lots of new podcasters. There's just not enough time in the day, is there? And then in February we hopped over to South Africa, and we spent some time with Sally Jane, who is the host of the Pink Hair Girl Knits podcast. She's based in South Africa, but is in the process of relocating to the UK, and she very kindly hosted February, despite the fact that she was in the midst of a move, and that was an amazing and eye-opening journey as well. So great so far. We are now in March, and March is all about Asia, and I am hosting Asia. Unfortunately, because of just a change in kind of my timetable, circumstances, etc., I'm not in Asia to podcast for you, but that's where I'm usually based, and I don't think you need to be in Asia to be able to talk about Asia. It's all about discovering what's new and out there, so I'm hoping that you're still kind of tagging along with me on this journey and enjoying it. So before we kind of move on into what the Asia cows are all about, I just wanted to let you know where you guys could find me. I'm at Knitknacker on both Instagram and Ravelry, and I have a blog which is on my tech editing website, which is at knitknackercrafts.com. I think it's just /blog. So usually the blog has my show notes. If I decide I want to write something, I will write something. We have had a guest writer, June, who is a Japanese writer who has been featured in magazines, etc., who kind of gave us a brief introduction to the Japanese yarn scene, which helped kind of kick off Wow Asia. So that was fantastic, and there's going to be something else going on up there today, so be sure to check it out, and that's not just the show notes. So, what's going on? We have 2 cows this month. Last week I chatted to you a little bit about amigurumi, and that's what this month is kind of about. Amigurumi is a Japanese technique whereby people knit or crochet stuffed dolls, and this month is all about kind of trying out that technique. And if you already make stuffies, then don't let your projects go to waste. Enter them in our cow and you're going to be eligible for some amazing prizes. I talked about the prizes last week. I don't have them here with me, but there's yarn, there's a book, there's some tea. What I might do is actually do what Sally Jane did, which is kind of post pictures of the prizes in the general chatter thread, which is on my Ravelry group, which I should mention, and it's called the Knitknacker Natters podcast group. So head on over. We have a general chatter thread for Wow Asia, and get chatting in there, get discussing patterns, designers, dyers, anything, and you're going to be eligible for prizes at the end of the month. There is a amigurumi thread, so if you're knitting or crocheting an amigurumi or stuffy, enter it into that FO group. That closes at the end of March. That's the 31st of March, and I will be drawing a prize, maybe prizes, from that thread too. But that's not the only thing that we're doing. We've got a second cow. So I know that people are still discovering things about Asia, and if you're trying to buy yarn or you're still procrastinating about what designs you want to kind of knit or crochet, I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to do your research, to have a chat with everybody else before you created. So we've got a cow that runs for Asian designers, dyers, makers, etc. That started from the 1st of March and will run up until the end of the entire Wonders of the World cow, which is the end of June. So you have an opportunity to start your project at any point between the 1st of March and the end, and enter it in. So please do go ahead and do that. Now, it's not only my group that you can win prizes in. There is a general Wonders of the World cow group. Go find it. There is a general chatter thread there, and every month we should be picking prizes from the general chatter thread. It also has a thread for the official Wonders of the World kind of hat, cowl design, and it's called the Hemisphere hat, and both Grace and I have chatted about it before. Go to the thread, check it out, and you'll see what we're talking about. It's double knitting. I have my yarn, I just haven't cast it on yet. I need to figure out how to double knit first. So that's all the information. What's on the cards for today? Today I wanted to introduce you to someone that it's been a pleasure for me to get to know, and that's the amazing woman who is behind Papiput Yarns, Amelia Putri. She's not only a dyer, she's a designer, and if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that she's recently come out with a new design. Do go check her out. Now, Amelia has been so gracious. I contacted her very early on, whilst we were still kind of settling or finalising the details of the Wow Cow. And I had come across her yarns before. I've chatted about this before. I had yet to purchase any at that point, but I was really excited about kind of knowing that there was a dyer and designer coming out of Indonesia, because I think it's always nice to discover things beyond what you already know. And she is amazing, and she agreed to do an interview for us so that we could all meet with her together. Now, the idea was for us to do a face-to-face interview, or rather over FaceTime or Skype, which I would share with you all. but unfortunately, because of my scheduling issues, that kind of went to pot. But she has been amazing. She has done a brilliant interview for us all. She has done a written interview, which is going to be over on my blog, and she has done an interview slash chat for all of you guys. And bless her, she said she was really, really nervous because she's worried about her English, and that was one of the reasons why she had asked me to send her kind of questions for the interview way ahead of time, which I had done last year. Now, from the way she was going on, you'd think she couldn't speak any English, and her English is amazing. So, Amelia, I don't know what you're talking about. Your English is perfect, so do not worry. But I'm not going to give anything away. I'm going to let her introduce herself. So here it is. Let's hop on a plane over to Depok, West Java in Indonesia, which is where Amelia is at. Hey, Amelia.
Hello, my name is Amelia Putri from Indonesia. You can call me Amelia. I'm the one behind Papi Putiar and also Amelia Putri Designs on Ravelry. I'm filming this in my bedroom, so you can hear all of the noises of the sounds clearly. I'm a knitter, a dyer, and also a knitwear designer. Before I make Papi Putiar, I have an online yarn shop. It sells famous yarns like Red Heart, like Sirdar, Malabrigo. Wait, you said acrylic? Red Heart? Yes! I sold acrylic yarns and also natural fibers yarn. Since I knew Malabrigo, I learned a lot from it. I knew that natural fibers yarns are the best. Well, it's not cheap, it's expensive, but we love the softness, durability, and also the colors. Who doesn't love Malabrigo? Well, I do. I'm sure you do too. Okay, move on to Papi Putiar. So my husband's name and my name combined into one, into Papi Put. My children call my husband Papito. It's the puppy, not the puppy, the dog. And also, the put is from Putri. So, bam, we have Papi Putiar. Okay, so Indonesia is always my biggest inspiration for yarn colors. Clearly from the inspiration, like Nihiwatu, the one over here, this is Nihiwatu, Cempaka, and also Azalea. So you will learn a little bit about Indonesia from my yarn colors. I really hope so. That's my biggest goal, that you will know more about Indonesia in a new way through yarn, because we're all knitters. And moving into my dyeing technique, there's no special way, just acid dyes. I put in the acid dyes and also the vinegar and hot water, something like that. Nothing very serious or different from other dyers, but I really hope that I can create something different, something unique about Papi Putiar that can differ from other. It's hard, I know, because there are so many millions of beautiful yarn out there, and it's hard to build an audience or build your own yarn brand, especially if you're from a country that is hot and humid. I live in Depok, Jawa Barat, Indonesia. I live with my husband, my 2 children, a son and a daughter, and also 6 cats. But don't worry, they are all trained. They never play with my yarns. They never play with my knittings. They just play with waste yarns, acrylic yarns. So they will never bother my natural fibers yarns or what I'm knitting. I love all of the colors. is green, and right now I'm really in love with peach pink, like I'm wearing today. Like this one, dusty mauve pink peach. So many colors, right? And I also love gray, beige, brown. Now about my latest design, which is this one. This is called Visiting Mother. You can read the background story on the Ravelry page, Visiting Mother Shell. You will know everything about the background history or story behind it. This is Himawari shawl. This is a contribution to Low Blossom in Japan. This is the larger version of the Himawari. I love the details of it. Very soft, very airy, very delicate. I love the stitch patterns. So, since I love the stitch pattern of Himawari, I also made the socks. Himawari socks. Now moving into my whip. Right now I'm doing a test knit for Eri in Japan. She designed a tubame pullover. This is the colors I used. It's mentawai, navy blue, and on demande neon yellow green. Neon yellow green is basically my favorite color. Can you believe it? Okay, about the yarn, I'm using the Poppy Foot Merino single for the navy blue part, and the neon gray part I'm using Poppy Foot Top Sock. I am an all-around knitter. I knit lace shawls, I knit cable projects, I knit just stockinette zombie projects, anything because I love the process. But my most favorite one is cable and lace. My latest finished object, is this. Ooh, I really love this sweater. This is loose sweater. You can find it in Ravelry. It has a really beautiful cables. It looks intricate, it looks difficult, but seriously, this is so easy to make. I made it in 2-color version, like this. Well, to be honest, at first I wasn't sure if this would turn out beautiful. The 2 colors I used was inspired by my little cats, my kittens. They are all Himalayan cats. They have these colors: the dark gray, the white, and the beige. Well, I think that's all a brief about me and my yarn, Hobby Food yarn, and also my designs, my whip, my finished objects. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you, Fatima, for featuring me. I'm really honored and I'm really glad. I'm so happy I could do this. I really hope I can join for another podcast perhaps in the future. Actually, I'm really nervous. No, I'm panicking. Okay, I'll see you again next time. Bye.
Isn't Amelia lovely? To see her full interview, to hear her kind of chat about her inspiration behind her dyeing, her aspirations for her company and her designs, to find out about her process, go check out the interview because it was really informative. I really loved getting to know her, and I hope you guys will too. Okay, so what have I been up to? We have we have a finished object. I had promised you guys 2, but I will tell you why there isn't 2 in just a tick. We have a finished pair of Japanese slippers. This pattern is the mountain form slippers. And I'm going to put the designer name down below, but they are designed in part by June, who has done our Japanese yarn blog post. Aren't they amazing? And isn't the construction really, really interesting? Now, they probably look small because my feet are small. And this is done in Aran weight yarn. This was such an interesting knit for me because when I initially read the pattern, I couldn't quite figure out how this was going to work, but it totally does. So I knit it out of Debbie Bliss Cash Merino Aran, which until I read the label like half an hour ago, I didn't realise has some acrylic in it. So it's kind of merino, cashmere and acrylic, and it's lovely, but it does have a halo. And I have used this yarn many moons ago when I first started knitting, and rather when I first finished med school, so many moons ago, and I'd forgotten what it was like because I've not used it since. It does have a halo, but it's so soft and so lovely to work with. I don't know, I can't remember how well it wears, because what I had initially made with my Cash Merino Aran was some fingerless mittens for a swap that I did, which was so much fun. The first time I knitted them around. On DPNs, I might add. But they were in a gorgeous kind of purple. This is more a dusky, I want to say dusky pink, but actually, you know, in some lights it's quite lilac-y, and if I'm not mistaken, on the website when I bought it, it was more supposed to be like a pale lilac colour. So can you see what this looks like from the side? You start off at this end and it's knit flat, and then you kind of finish part of the foot and you join in the round and you do this kind of ribbing which helps hug the foot, and then you kind of knit part of the foot and finish off with your toe. And obviously because it's Aran weight, it knits up quite quickly, and then at the end all you have to do is seam. Now both of these were seamed twice because every time I went to seam I had initially kind of put my needle in here to join the two pieces together, and then instead of seaming down this side I ended up seaming down that side. Big boo-boo. These were knit on 4.5mm needles, and they're so cozy, and they're just lovely, to the point where my mum said, so if you're making me any, can you do them in black? Now my mum is knit worthy, but she never asks for anything, so the fact that she asked for a pair means that she must have really liked them. Although these are a knit for me, they're super stretchy, and I can't actually remember if there's anything about gauge on the pattern, but I didn't check gauge anyway, so they wouldn't just fit me, they would fit quite a lot of people, I think, and I think they're going to get quite baggy after several wears and washing, so I might kind of knit them smaller next time, but they were much smaller than the pattern asked for, just to fit my foot. So yeah, that's my FO. Moving on to works in progress. I'm not really sure that there's much to show you this week actually, because I've got pretty much what I had last time round. I've got my secret socks, which are in this amazing neon colourway, and these are Pappy Put yarn. They're on her tough sock, which is a 75-25. This colourway, like I mentioned before, is way out of my comfort zone, but I love them, and I'm doing them 2 at a time. This hasn't grown much, it's probably grown about 10 rows. I've only picked these up once. And I was just thinking the other day that actually if I was knitting them one at a time, I would be down to the heel by now. But hey ho, I wanted to try out 2 at a time and it worked. For those of you who are nervous about trying, go see Mina Phillips' tutorial because it's really, really good. And it really helped me. This yarn is lovely to work with. It's nice and soft. It works great with these hires. I'm using 2.25mm needles. Now, when I'm knitting socks for myself, and I realise I've become a very selfish knitter. Most of my knitting tends to be for myself now. I cast on 60 stitches and I've done a 2x2 rib, 20 rows of that. Yeah, and then we're moving on to the leg. So if you want to see it in the skein, look at that. Can you see that? Look at that neon green and yellow. And I found the tag. So let's tell you. Amelia, you're going to die at my pronunciation. I'm so sorry. I should add that the Malay that I had learnt is kind of Bahasa Melayu, so Malaysian and Bruneian, kind of with a Bruneian and Malaysian accent. And what's the word? Colloquialisms. That's not the word, but anyway. And Bahasa Indonesia, so Indonesian Malay, is quite different in some ways and a lot more difficult for me to understand. Now, this colourway, can you see that? Is called Nihiwatu. That sounded more African, and I'm sure it's not pronounced quite like that. And even my husband's going to probably be quite embarrassed. But Nihiwatu is the colourway, and I'm sure there's a story behind it, and I should probably go out and go onto Etsy and find out what the story behind it is. It's being housed in one of my Mina makes, and if you remember from a few weeks back, I've claimed Mina as an Asian designer maker. So it's Asian needles, Asian yarn, and Asian bag. Yeah. So my second project is my Ellen amigurumi, which is my elephant. I had said last time that it was really fun and easy to do and and I would be finished by this week. I'm not. I have realised I do not enjoy crocheting tiny objects. So we do have 2 feet. We have an extra arm, so I now have 2 feet, 2 arms, the head, the body, and I also have an ear, but I couldn't find it. So I've got 1 ear and a trunk left, and then I have to seam it all together. I think if it was knitted, I would enjoy it more. Or maybe if it was bigger. I'm finding it a little bit fiddly. So yeah, I think once this project is done, I possibly won't be crocheting kind of these kind of diameters again for a while at least. But Ellen is a design by a Thai designer, and for Wow Asia and for the month of March I wanted to predominantly kind of concentrate on Asian yarns and designs, and hence I had chosen one of these as opposed to any others. And I actually have quite a few books for knitted toys at my parents' house, which I haven't had a chance to take over to Singapore with me. So yeah, this is being crocheted out of an acrylic yarn, Starcraft Special DK in the raspberry colourway. It's lovely to work with. I don't have a problem working with acrylic yarn. I think for things like toys, I don't have any issues with it. And I'm using a 3mm hook. So, what's currently in my little bobbins bag? So this is the only thing that's new on my needles. And this hat is either called Kay or Kai. And it is by a Japanese designer. And I'm just going to quickly look up the name because I can't remember. It's by Noriko Ichikawa. And it's in the yarn that I showed you guys last time. So it's Mad Tosh Chunky in the esoteric colourway, and that's pretty good representation. And this is a hat that's going to be far too big for me. What do you guys think? Does it look unisex to you, or does it look feminine? The pattern actually has a pom-pom. I can probably do away with the pom-pom if it's unisex enough and give it to somebody else. I'm going to give it to somebody else anyway because it's far too big for me, and it only comes in one size. And again, I didn't gauge swatch. It's quite interesting. There's kind of lots of slip stitches, bit different to kind of slip stitch work I've done in the past, and I can't actually wait to finish this. I'm halfway through the body. Because I think it's going to be really interesting once it's blocked and once the entire body's... I think you see the full effect once the entire body is knit up. But do check out the pattern if you're interested to see what it actually looks like. Yeah, so this is... the ribbing was done on a 5mm needle, and the body is done in 5.5mm needles. It's a very quick knit, so I think I started this yesterday, so I'm hoping to have this finished for you guys for next week. I say for you guys, it's not for you guys, it's for me, or whoever I decide to gift it to. So yeah, that's all I've been doing. What else is kind of on the cards once I finish these? Well, as you all know, I have plenty of whips, so that I'm sure there's something I can choose to work on. I'm in the UK for one more week, and then I go to Egypt and Saudi Arabia before I head back to Singapore. So a lot of travelling, so let's see what I can do. So I introduced you guys all to Amelia, or rather Amelia introduced herself to you, and I had always wondered what it was like to be a yarn dyer, and she has very kindly filmed a day in the life of Amelia for us. So I'm hoping to leave you with some footage here. Enjoy! thank you all so much for joining me on this little excursion we've had over to Indonesia. I hope it's whetted your appetite for Wow Asia, and I hope you're going to be heading over to her Etsy shop to have a look at her yarn. Links below, and also that you'll be heading over to Ravelry to kind of discover new Asian designers. We'd love to have you, like I said, come over to the group, chat away, and who knows what we've got in store for you next time round. Don't forget to post your amigurumi finished objects in the appropriate thread over in my group, and you know, you can double dip in so many different ways. Double dip your amigurumis if you're using Asian designers or yarn, or rather post twice, but double dip by going over to the Wonders of the World Cow group, and double dip there. So lots and lots of opportunities to win prizes. And on that note, I'm gonna love you and leave you guys. I hope you enjoyed meeting with Amelia, and I will see you all next time. Please like and subscribe, and I'll chat to you all another time. Take care. Bye bye.